Hello everyone, this is Ethan with SDMetal, and we're here at Ramona Mainstage right now with Elliot of Alestorm. How's it going today?
Pretty good. We this morning we went to one of the members of the Dread crew, Woodward's house, or the parents' house, which is like on the beach, and just before San Diego. Went for a swim and ate tacos. Felt like a day off, so it's a good day today.
That's very good. Yeah, because they're very local, so that makes sense. Yeah. Was there any particular reason they're not able to play the show tonight?
It's some really silly feud between one of their members and somebody involved with this venue from a long time ago, and I think they don't want the band to play here. And we thought that's a bit strange and petty and silly, so we tried to pull rank and say, if you're booking this tour, you're booking this whole package. These guys are playing. And the guy was like, no. But they came anyway, and they're going to be here. They just won't do any music. So
okay. Yeah, I was looking forward to it because I saw them like a year or two ago just playing at a Renaissance fair, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. But
that's the cool thing about that band. They can do that, and they can also be main support on a metal tour. So it's the cool, diverse genre they have.
Definitely. So starting out as Alestorm, were there any main influences that drove you to play pirate metal?
Well, not me particularly, because I joined a while then. But I think Chris, who wrote a lot of the early songs with Gavin, the guy who's not in the band anymore, all the keyboard stuff was influenced by the British band Balsagoth, who is basically demonstrated in the early 90s that keyboards can be a dominant kind of force in the music, rather than just being in the background playing wing P pads and stuff. You can push the music forward with keyboards. It's the main voice in the music. So I guess that's where it started.
Okay. I don't know if you know the answer. You probably do, but since you joined later, where did the name Alestorm come from? And there was a different name originally. What was that, and what was the change behind that?
It was originally Battleheart, and then when the band was signed to Napalm Records, there was a band called Battle Law on the same label, and that would have been a bit. The record label didn't like that.
Right.
Also, Battleheart's not the best band name anyway. So I think it was just a big mashup of everybody suggesting band names, and Alestorm was the one that everybody liked most. Who actually came up with Alestorm? Do you know? Gavin. Yeah, the original guitarist who thought of that. So.
I mean, it makes sense too. I mean, it just works out, especially for type of music and all songs like Drink and Rum and.
I think it was Battleheart because the band originally wasn't going to be a pirate metal band. It was just a power metal band, and then they wrote some songs, and the one that turned out to be the best was about pirates, just coincidentally. And then they thought, let's just go down that road.
Of course, yeah, that makes sense. So when you guys write music, who's the main writer behind the music, or is it a collective effort?
Traditionally, in the past, it's been Chris, because he's, being the keyboard player and being the keyboards being the most important kind of sound in the band. It was mostly him, but then the last album, Sunset on the Golden Age, was a lot different because we all wrote different bits, and then that was my first album that I recorded in the studio, and also being a keyboard player, I had kind of a good input into the keyboard world side of things. So basically when we all live in different places, so we don't ever meet up apart from when we're on tour. So we have Dropbox set up with Guitar Pro, and we just write ideas down, and everybody hears them and adds bits. It's kind of like jamming together, but from a distance.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of bands have been doing that lately.
Yeah, it's just a good way to do it.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially since you guys are all over Scotland then, right?
Well, there's one guy lives in Scotland, Danny, and then Chris lives in England, I live in England. Our bass player and drummer Gaz and Pete both live in Northern Ireland. I mean, they live in the same city, but the rest of us are hundreds of miles away from each other.
Yeah, so it just makes it a little easier that way.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're a band who all lives in the same place, you still have to spend however much it is to get a rehearsal studio for 4 hours, stand there and make loads of noise until everyone's got a headache. And if everybody's a really good creative musician, which I think if we all met up, we'd just probably get drunk and do silly things instead of writing music. So it's a more efficient, better way to write songs, right? I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, then also it's for Yeah, just writing music and lyrics in general. Is there like a main like writer or inspiration that you guys go to when writing?
Inspiration, not so much. It's gradually shifted away from being about pirates and more just being about having fun. There's always like some sort of tenuous pirate connection in there. You know, like the song "Mead from Hell" is about a man who brews honey underwater with psychotropic bees. I have no idea what that song's about, but the fact that it's set underwater means there's some tenuous pirate connection. But the inspiration, not so much. I mean, again, it's Chris who writes most of the lyrics. Obviously, he sings them, but then I wrote lyrics for a couple of songs on the new album, and then "Wooden Leg" can't really call those lyrics. It's just one word being shouted. But that was we were standing backstage, like behind the stage, at a festival in Denmark in 2013, and this guy came up. I guess he was like a local radio celebrity, and he said, "I'm going to announce you guys. Like, what do you want me to say?" So we just said, "Get the crowd to chant 'Wooden Leg.' That'll be funny." And then we were standing there listening, going, "Wooden Leg, yeah, that'd be a good chorus." And then, you know, fast forward 18 months, and then
write a story about a Spanish guy shooting off your leg, and
well, I guess the Spanish thing comes from the other song, 1741, the Battle of Cartagena, on the album, which is about Spanish fighting the British. So it's all linked up. It's clever if you look deep enough.
Right, of course. Yeah. So speaking of your record,
there it is.
Yep, Sunset on Golden Age. I mean, what was there any like story behind giving it that title, or is it just because you had the song on the album?
Yeah, we wrote loads of songs, and that had the coolest title. Also, the album art for Back Through Time was really cool, and we thought we're going to have to do something else that's even cooler, and that one kind of made the most sense as a really good painting as well.
Of course, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of detail and like everything put into it. So
yeah, it's just
like
it's
really
this guy
cool.
Ingo Rumling from Germany who painted all the album art for all the albums, and he's very good. Speaking of lyrics, allow me to read you an excerpt from the track Sunset from the Golden Age. Sundered from daylight by the rage of the unseen, betwixt carbonic plateaus where rarity convenes. That's about putting 2 pieces of bread in a toaster. The next line, under the heat of 1,000 suns, destruction is attained. That's about making a cheeseburger. Where flows the red and ochre, history's ingrained, is about ketchup and mustard. So it sounds very deep, but it's about food. All done things.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All about food and beer. That's the way to do it. All right. So, how has the response been with the new album lately? Has the tour been going well for you guys?
Yeah, the tour's great. There's always a kind of a worry when you do a new album and you do your first tour for the album that the fans are going to look a bit confused when you play your new songs. And, oh, play Keelhauled, we like that one. But no, especially Drink has become that new song that we do, which is good. But everybody likes the new songs, which is lucky, I think. It's nice to be able to do a 4th album and it be the most successful one yet, as opposed to like some more songs that people don't care about.
Right.
Yeah, it did well in like the charts in Europe, and I think we were on the Heat Seekers chart in the USA for the first time.
Yeah, I know you hit that chart. I just don't remember the exact number.
I can't remember either. But in the UK, we were like number 63 or something. But in the rock charts in the UK, which is only rock music and metal and stuff, we were number 1 that week, which is cool. We were above Linkin Park, which is
that's a pretty good deal.
Considering they were one of the first like metal bands I ever listened to, like age 11 or 10, to be above their album in the rock charts for a week is.
That's definitely a really cool
nice
thing.
Yeah.
Especially in your home country, and just like, there we go.
Yeah, it was cool. Obviously Germany and Austria and all the places that like all the folk metal the most in Europe, we did well there too, so it's good all around the world, which is nice.
Oh, definitely.
Bodes well for future tours, I think.
So, will we be expecting another album to come out fairly soon after this tour cycle, or will you be taking time off after this?
Well, we've become more of a band where the tours and the live shows are more important than the records. Like, we write the songs and release them, and then everybody learns the lyrics, and then the shows are the most important thing. Like the gap between Back Through Time and this one, and between Black Sail at Midnight and Back Through Time, was both very big gaps, where the shows became the focus as opposed to the songwriting. The fact that we can all write songs just at home on our computers from different parts of the world is gigs anytime, and then eventually we've got an album full of material and we'll record it. But yeah, we're focusing more on touring and playing every silly country that we could possibly get to.
Like when you're out on tour, is there like certain countries that feel very different to you, or like as you're playing, or the crowd's very different, like here in America, for example?
Well, definitely. The English-speaking countries are all pretty much the same, like UK, USA and Canada, and Australia are similar in the crowds, because a lot of the stuff in our lyrics and a lot of the stupid jokes that we make and weird, silly references and puns and stuff work very well in the English language. But then we play in Germany, and we try announcing a song that's dedicated to Paul McCartney's ex-wife, Heather Mills. This one's called Wooden Leg, and then all the English people find it funny, and then all the German people go, what? It's a song.
Okay. So, yeah.
Basically, the places that don't speak Europe are great crowds, but we have to just get on with the show a bit more. We can't stand it be funny because they don't understand it.
Of course, yeah. That makes sense. So, where did you meet up with the band, and how did you get involved in Alestorm?
Gareth, our bass player, used to play the guitar in a Northern Irish folk metal band called Waylander, who they've done reasonably well in the kind of small European like folk metal circuit in the past few years. But he used to play guitar for that band, and my other band in England was the support for them on a UK tour. So I met Gaz that way, and then Gaz somehow joined Alestorm. I've never quite been sure how that happened. So Gaz left Wayland and joined Alestorm, and then when Back Through Time came out, all the new songs were a bit more involved in terms of keyboards and layering of different counter melodies and stuff, and the keyboards going on. So it was either play with a backing track like almost every other band chooses to do, like Winter Sun and Tourist House and all these bands, or get another keyboard player and like retain that live kind of mistakes, but make it sound better. Somebody playing a bit sloppy often sounds more fun than just a computer playing.
And when they go up, try.
Definitely.
Because I knew Gaz and I met Chris through Gaz. That was just a guy they knew who was an obvious choice to actually do this.
Okay.
Which is fun.
There you go. Alright. So now I'll just ask a little more questions about you. Do you, like, as you're playing just as a musician, do you prefer to play bigger shows, or these smaller, like the club shows like you're doing in the US, or like the festival scene in Europe?
It's a very different kind of thing. I mean, festivals are great because you're playing to, like 30,000 people, but you're only playing for, half an hour, 45 minutes usually. And also, those people are just at that festival to enjoy the whole thing. Whereas when we play a small club show small, say like 500 people, it's quite a big show really. But those people are all here to see our headlining show, so we can play for 90 minutes and they hopefully know all the songs and they appreciate every little part of what we do, as opposed to just some drunk man standing in a field at midday with a beer in his hand going, Alestorm, that's funny. It's two very different things. Playing to tens of thousands of people is great, but it's a different experience.
Definitely. So starting out as a musician, what were your main influence to start playing any instrument?
Well, the reason I started music in the first place is my dad decided once when I was about 3 or 4 years old that he would go and buy a keyboard and teach himself how to play. And it turns out he couldn't be bothered, or he wasn't very good, or he didn't have the time or the patience for it, so that was just sitting around in the house. And I would just be 4 or 5 years old, just working out how to play songs, just by myself. And then eventually I had lessons. And then I got into like high school, and keyboard became like a really uncool thing to be doing, so I started playing guitar instead, like forgot about the keyboard altogether. I thought I'm never going to need to use that, I'd rather play guitar, because I like metal, so I'm going to play guitar.
Right.
And then I guess aged like 16 or 17, I discovered like Ed Furniture Assassin, Equilibrium and all these bands, and thought, and power metal, like Sonata Arctic is one of my favourite bands,
yeah,
so
love them.
I discovered them and I thought, this is, because I was good at keyboard, played it from such a young age, I was actually quite good at it, so I got one again and started doing that. And then when I was looking to join a band, when I became like 18 years old or something, I wanted to start playing properly in a band. Being a keyboard player was a much more like attractive thing for other bands to want me to join. I didn't want to just be any other guitarist, because there's loads of them and I wasn't that good. But keyboard players are a bit more sought after. So
yeah,
and it allowed me to play the music that I like too.
There you
So-
see. Yeah, it just opens a lot more doors. Because,
Exactly, yeah.
It's just a overwhelming amount of people in that field. So
Yeah, I mean, even now I could go home and when I'm not on tour, I could join a cover band and play pop songs. But being a keyboard player, I could easily get a job doing that because there's probably not many keyboard players that
yeah,
can be bothered to do that.
oh,
But yeah, it's it's a lot more, it makes you more desirable as a musician, I think, for bands to join, which is nice.
definitely.
I don't know how I managed to get a job as a second keyboard player, but that's something else entirely.
Yeah, I mean, it works for you guys,
Yeah,
so there you go. But also, if you could be in any band and play any instrument, what would you play, and what band would it be?
Does it have to be an instrument that I can already play? Or just... I'd really like to play, like, banjo or lap steel or something in, like a pop folk band like Mumford & Sons or something like that. I think that'd be really cool.
Mhm.
I like that kind of thing. It's the kind of thing I listen to when I'm at home. Yeah, something a bit more indie and, you know, pop oriented.
And then, for anyone out there, if they're looking for new bands, are there any new bands out there you would recommend or are currently listening to?
I mean, again, this answer isn't going to involve metal at all, but the band I'm listening to at the moment is there's a British pop band called Bastille.
Okay.
They have one album out, but it's got rave reviews everywhere, and
Mhm.
basically all the record industry guys say if their second album is as good as the first one, they'll be like same level as Lady Gaga. You know, that's how good this band could be if they keep it up. I like Mumford & Sons a lot, the British folk pop rock band. Stuff like that. That band Imagine Dragons just released a new album, and I'm really excited to hear that because the first one was very good.
Yeah.
Pop music's very good these days. It went through a period like the last 10 years where it was a bit crap.
Yeah, I think it's more the indie stuff started to switch into the pop scene,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it gave a lot more variety than
Exactly. And pop music's becoming very good these days.
definitely. Well, so thank you again for your time today,
Alright.
for doing this, and for all you out there, pick up Sunset on the Golden Age from Alestorm. It's out now on Napalm Records. This is Ethan Wick signing off. Stay metal.
And pop. You leave that bit in.
All right, stay pop for him.
For you, geese a beer.